What a wonderful day!
What a wonderful day!
I watched 5 new 2024 films this month, 3 of which I watched in the cinema, 2 of which I watched back-to-back days, not back-to-back on the same day. That would have been way too much considering what the 2 films were. But let's just get into it, and this is everything that I watched in May, and I'm going to start off with the new 5 2024 films, and I always just write like 2-line notes of what I think of the film, and for Tandra's I literally just put, I needed the boys to become lovers and I want to play tennis. Which I feel like that sums up a lot of people's opinions of this film. Obviously this just circled around so much hype, and I understand the hype. I get why people are raving about this film. I personally came away from this film liking it, not in any way loving it as much as my sister did. She's seen it twice. And it's funny because when we went to the cinema we was like kind of late. The film hadn't started but we was kind of late to the trailers, whatever. Like we couldn't book tickets online because we was past that time. But we got there. The guy was lovely. He let us buy the cheapest seat, but we could then sit anywhere we wanted because when we arrived into the room there was no one else there. So it was just me, 2 of my sisters and my mum watching this film. By the end my mum was like wooing, like she was getting... But yeah, no, don't get me wrong, I like kind of the little world building set we have in the beginning. I like when we got to the end. Everyone knows the one scene I'm referring to if you've seen this. And because of that one little moment towards the end between the 2 boys is what makes me think I like it a little more than I do. And I'm saying this, I'm going to put it in great. I think it is a great film, but loads of people absolutely loved it, saying it's the film of the year, so they would put it in the best. I need a likeable character, and everyone in this film is just bad. They're all just bad to each other. It's fun, it has the fun moments between all of them, but they all just seem selfish and in it for personal gains. Like, it's hard to find out who the villain is. Loads of people say it's Art. I personally feel sorry for him, okay? He was a young boy and he did wrong, but yeah, I don't know, because there wasn't one person I could refer. It was fun, the loud music, fun, the slow-mo, the cuts where you are the POV of the ball. It's fun. Next we have Argyle, and is it crazy that I had an absolute blast with this film? Therefore it's going in the best. I know it's not that good of a film, but for me, if it's silly but I have fun with it, then I'm having a great time. I love some of the editing in this film. I love some of the action scenes, because when like fighting scenes are fun. I don't want to give out any spoilers, but my 2 favourite were the one with skating. Skating becomes involved at one point, and well, it's like a bunch of colour. I can't remember if it was smoke, like coloured smoke. I don't know what it's called, but those 2 scenes, it was quite fun. It's ridiculous fun, and that's what I'm here for. I'm here for a fun time, not a long time. The film was probably a little bit long, but no, oh my god, there's also you also get to a point in the film where every 5 minutes there's a new plot twist. I can't tell you how many. You could do a drinking game with how many plot twists there were. You'd be drunk by like the 7th one, because there are so many, and each one is more ridiculous than the next. But then because there are so many plot twists, the film then becomes predictable. But because it is so silly, it's just fun. And then my 2 little lines I wrote for the idea of you was hot people, good music. So this film was good. Just for that. I can't believe Anne Hathaway signed on for a film like this. She was probably paid more than half of what the budget was for this film. It's just a Harry Styles fanfic, though. It's people are coming out saying that it's not a Harry Styles fanfic. But I think it was originally a fanfic. It's every young teenage girl's dream where the lead singer in a boy band spots them in a crowd and then they start dating. But there actually were times where, because she's so yeah, Anne Hathaway starts dating the lead in the boy band, and because she also has, she's like older compared to him, she has a young daughter in the relationship, she's trying to like just protect her daughter in it, and so there are points where it kind of becomes a little sad. But its most redeeming quality is because it's got great music. Will some of their songs end up in my Spotify Wrapped at the end of the year? Maybe. Maybe. Boy bands are back, guys. The Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. And I have always said, in my mind, I probably haven't actually said it out loud, the modern trilogy of Rise, Dawn and War. That's like one of my favourite trilogies. Obviously it's that and Pitch Perfect, so that's what you get if you get if you get me. But I love those first 3 films. Set like 300 years whatever post Caesar. So I don't know if this is setting up a new set of films or if it's a full film in that like original trilogy. I've warmed up on it from my immediate thoughts. As soon as like me and my family got out of the film, it was a bit boring, wasn't it? But I do have a lot of good factors for it. So first off, I'm going to put it in great. And actually, I do like it a little bit more than Challengers. What a wonderful day.
What a wonderful day!
No, okay, so I liked the world building in the beginning. I like to see how the apes are in this post-Caesar era. I like the end of the film with kind of the dilemma of these different apes and human. Like their kind of different dilemmas and problems and what their wants were and desires and their goals in this film. The whole chunk of the middle where we got from point A where our ape Noah has to get to point B to save his colony. I don't know what a group of apes are called, they're not called a colony. To save his clan. That journey was a little boring. We got to meet Maurice 2.0, another orangutan, and I love the orangutan characters, I really do. And so I like to see kind of how the legacy of Caesar lived on, but how it got a little twisted. His message got a little mixed up along the way. And I like those aspects to see how Caesar lives on. But I personally don't think Noah, as of yet, as of now, is as great as like powerhouse lead as Caesar was. I know if there's more films he will build up to that, but he doesn't have that draw for me. Like, I love Caesar so much. But I do like the Noah character. But I just think the middle was quite boring and quite slow when we're journeying from point A to point B. But once we got to point B, it started to get good. There's some great action scenes as well. And then the next day, for my sibling's birthday, we watched The Strangers Chapter 1. And you can probably tell from the look on my face and the tone of my voice. And it saddens me because I like Madeline Petch, who is the lead in this. She's Cheryl Blossom from Riverdale. I am one person that suffered through all 7 seasons of Riverdale because it just got to a point where it was so ridiculous, where I had so much fun with every episode. I'm like rooting for my Riverdale girlies. Her, Camilla Mendes and Lily Reinhart. I want them to do well in the film industry, film and TV industry. She seems so, like, obviously she's going to be excited. Obviously she's going to be excited promoting her films. But because I just saw how excited she was promoting all 3 of these films, emphasising that there's 3 films, 2 more films to come. Like, I wanted it to do well, but my question is, why would they not see how the first film performed? Like, see what people were saying about it before making the other 2, because the other 2 are set to come out later this year, and I have no desire to watch the second 2 because this film was so boring. It took more than half the film for the strangers to start acting strange. Obviously there were strange things going on, making it ooh scary. Because I'm a pussy, I was a little bit scared, but the strangers didn't do anything. Nothing happened. Obviously some things happened, but nothing happened. I felt like nothing happened. And because our main character, can't tell you her name, Madeline Petch, her character, because she survived to at least the 3rd film, she could get killed off right at the beginning of the 3rd film, we don't know that, but she survives at least to the 3rd one. There is no tension with her character. And also the promise of the premise, I could be wrong with this, I thought we was going to know the origin of the Strangers. I haven't seen any of the other Stranger films anyway, so I have no attachment to the Strangers, but because I felt like it was marketed as, you are going to know the origin of the Strangers. Well, I watched 3C films. I watched his review of the first 2 Stranger films. Those 2 are like kind of like carbon copies of each other. This, a 3rd carbon copy of those 2. It's just the same film, just being remade every 5 years. Never Going Back was okay. I really can't tell you anything about this film. I can't remember it. Just 2 girls that just wanted to save up enough money to go on their little trip. Loads of things started going wrong. It's got Maya Mitchell in it and I like her. So that's why it's a little bit okay. Then The Devil Wears Prada. The best. Is it better than Argyle? Yes, obviously it is better than Argyle. I have a first time watching reaction on my channel. I will link it up here. 2 words to describe this film that I didn't think I would feel. Thrilling and tense. Oh my god. Meryl Streep is so scary as Miranda. She's just so scary in general because she just has, like, she can just convey these looks on her face, which shivers me timbers. She scares me. Anne Hathaway, I was rooting for her. I was rooting for Andy. And then Emily, her bluntness. I was not liking her in the beginning because she was so rude, but by the end, when you're without her for like at least 30 minutes, I missed her so dearly. She was just so funny. It was so funny. It was so tense. I'm scared of the fashion world. How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. I'm going to put it in good. I'm going to put it better than The Idea of You. I've just watched so many bad rom-coms this year, so it feels like I've found a gem when I find something which I slightly enjoy. So How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. It's fun. Your generic rom-coms. I just love how they like both had like the same plan. They was both like using each other, and just how much each one committed to their plan, but it obviously wasn't going to work because they had conflicting ideas. Like one wanted to lose a guy in 10 days, the other wanted to keep the girl for so long, for 10 days. I really liked it. It was funny. I like Kate Hudson. I think this is like my first Matthew McConaughey film that I've watched. Then The Beanie Bubble was okay, probably better than Never Going Back. I never grew up on Beanie Babies. I only know the name. I didn't even know what they were. Apparently they're teddies. I like the storytelling where we would flip between different timelines and different POV characters. So you'd like be following one person in 1 year, and then it would go back 5 years with this guy, and I just thought that kept me more engaged than if we just set from whenever it started to when it crashed. It was crazy how it rose so quickly and crashed so quickly. Speaking of crashing, the 355 has more redeeming qualities than The Strangers Chapter 1. Saying that, I don't know what the redeeming qualities are. I just know that I watched the first like 20 minutes of this film. So boring. Switched it off and then watched How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. And then because the 355 was going off Netflix that same night, I then switched back to it, went to finish it. With about 40 minutes left of the film, it got interesting. Whenever the women actually started to work together rather than just fight each other, it then got interesting for me. I personally feel like it needed more female spies. I was under the impression, an impression I made up myself, was that it was going to be kind of like Ocean's 8, where you got loads of iconic women doing a little heist together. I thought this was going to be loads of iconic women being spies. There's some iconic women in it. 2 I can name. But I just thought it was going to be more. I don't know. It was boring, but got slightly interesting towards the end. The year the Earth changed. Love a little bit of David, I do. I'll put it at the back of good. Just a little documentary of our lovely year of COVID. Well, a lovely few years of COVID, but this was just based on like when the world shut down and all the animals were free to be, were free to exist. It made me quite sad, but also quite hopeful that if we actually try, if we actually stop some things, animals and the earth itself can thrive again. Are we beyond the point of destruction? Maybe. But we can slow it down, we can make some things better. Then Luck. This is the second time I've tried to watch this film. I'll put it at the front of okay-ish. This is a family film, I'll probably always have a little bit more fun with them. It was okay, but if it was a completely different film, I might have liked it. Then let's get on with the TV shows. 3 great TV shows I've watched this year. Lessons in Chemistry, this month should I say. Lessons in Chemistry, and then the first 2 seasons of Bridgerton. I've got Bridgerton as the 2 separate seasons because I want to talk about them separately. But first, Lessons in Chemistry, the best. I'm gonna put it in front. All of these will be at least in front of Argyle. Lessons in Chemistry, based on the book Lessons in Chemistry. That was my second favourite book of last year. Don't get me wrong, absolutely loved it. It was neck and neck, but 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo just slightly, because that makes me so sad. Oh, they were finally happy. Anyway, Lessons in Chemistry. I saw a review where it was something like, each episode is literally trauma, you're gonna cry. And I felt that. I really did. I didn't cry every episode. I think 2 or 3 episodes I cried. But no, every episode just made me feel a lot of strong feelings. I felt anger, sadness. I was inspired. I felt hopeful. It's just about our girl, Elizabeth Sott, played by Brie Larson. Brie Larson was perfect for her. I love Brie Larson. I'm saying it now. I love her. Great actress. Anyone tells you otherwise, they're wrong. Anyway, her as Elizabeth was great. It's just her wanting to be a chemist, wanting to be a scientist, but she's forced, but then loves it to become like a TV cooking show host. And she's just great. All the characters around her are great. It's just about being a woman existing in the 50s, I believe. And if you know what a time that was, and you know what a time it was. Oh, just the way she inspired other women though, and just and then something happens, and in the book it literally comes out of nowhere, and in the show it just came out of nowhere. I was watching it, just casually like, yeah, enjoying. It's coming to a scene, I'm like, hold on, this seems familiar. Bam, it happens. That was the sound I made. It's a great show. It is a great show. If I were to recommend you anything that I watched this month, it would be Lessons in Chemistry. Then Bridgerton Season 1. I've got reactions to all the episodes. Season 2 is coming this month of June. And the rest of the Bridgerton stuff. Bridgerton Season 1 is the best. And I'll put Bridgerton Season 2 and it's the best, yeah. All better than that. Okay. The first half of Season 1, absolutely loved it. I was thrilled, I was enthralled. The second half started to get a little bit slower, and I'm saying that because in the beginning you have all this whole fake dating, and like when it gets to a point where they get together you kind of lose some of that like hot passion tension, and it then becomes a different conversation over like lying and betrayal and deceit, and so it gets a little bit slow compared to like all the action you had in the beginning. Season 2 is like the reverse. It's a little bit slow because we're kind of like building this tension. We're getting more of Anthony's backstory, and I absolutely loved that. I cried so much through Season 2. I was just teary-eyed like almost every episode because it's just so sad. But then the second half of Season 2 is where it gets like really good, because then because the first half is kind of just more a focus on Anthony and the things like he has to do, his duties to his family, to his title. And then the second half is kind of where we start kind of going into that love and romance part, and then it starts getting all heated and crazy and blah blah blah. Enemies to lovers, crazy. Love triangle as well. Just feeling so sad for every single character involved. But overall, each season, the whole season, had me so hooked and excited, shocked at all the scandal and deceit. The reveal of who Lady Whistledown is at the end of Season 1 was probably a bit underwhelming compared to when Lady Whistledown is outed by a certain someone. Oh my god. That was my most tears in that moment when the certain someone found out who Lady Whistledown was. That's what made me the most. But yeah, overall Bridgerton is making me feel all of the feelings. Wasn't expecting to love it as much as I do. I already have reactions to Season 1 up on the channel. Season 2 coming very shortly. Then it will be followed by Queen Charlotte, and then Season 3 of Bridgerton. And I'm guaranteed, I know I will love all of it, because I love all of it already. But that is everything that I watched in May. What was your favourite thing that you watched this month? A new 2024 release, first film you watched for the first time this year, and your favourite show, because I want to start watching more TV, because I had great TV this year. Great TV. But that is it for this video. If you liked it, please really like and subscribe for more. Comment down below your favourite thing and anything you'd want me to check out in June. But thanks for watching. Bye!